Let's talk iPad mini 4. Hey guys, where are you? David DeFranco here from daviddefranco.com. Recently I got this little beauty, my iPad mini 4 in gold, 64GB Wi-Fi, and I am absolutely loving it. So for this video, I want to go over 7 things that I specifically enjoy about this iPad mini 4. Starting out with number 1, I gotta say the iPad mini 4 is significantly faster than the iPad mini 3. Because, let's not forget, last year's iPad mini revision was barely a revision at all. We got Touch ID and the choice of gold. Boom, that's it. But this year is a completely different story. It's basically iPad Air 2-like performance, minus the A8X chip. But even with that said, we still get an A8 chip, which is significantly faster than the iPad mini 2 and the iPad mini 3. A great example of this performance boost is you barely see any drops in frames like you used to. Aside from a few bugs in iOS 9, Notification Center drops down perfectly. Switching apps, while still a little laggy here and there, is a lot better than it previously was. And just overall, animations are a lot snappier, which definitely makes me happy because I enjoy paying attention to the small details. All right, so moving on to point number 2, the color gamut, in other words, what I like to call the color saturation, is so much better. It is finally on par with full-sized iPads. Even dating back to the iPad 1, color saturation has always been better on the full-sized iPads. And unfortunately with the iPad mini 1, 2, and even the iPad mini 3, color saturation always had a muted feel to it. But thankfully, that is a completely different story now with the iPad mini 4. Saturation is pretty much on par with the iPad Air 2. Colors pop so much better, and it's just overall a more pleasant experience. Item number 3, and this is definitely a very nice one. Speakers are much, much louder. Now, a great example of this, let's mount my iPad mini as such. By the way, I will link this case right below in the video description. Let's go to Apple Music and play a Mario Paint theme. Now this is max volume. Not bad. And previously it was about, of course I'm getting notifications, previously it was right about here. Which still is not crazy bad, but still, the iPad mini 4 speakers are so much louder. Listen to that. Definitely a nice perk and something I'm enjoying about this iPad mini revision very much. So moving on to point number 4, multitasking, it's there, and it works great. Again, this is essentially an iPad Air 2, but in a 7.9-inch form factor. Seriously, it is that awesome. Slide over works flawlessly. Split view is just great. And yes, you can even do picture-in-picture video thanks to iOS 9. It's just overall an awesome experience, and it's definitely a step in the right direction in terms of tablets eventually replacing notebooks. Now, obviously, that's a long ways off yet, but I do think Apple has the right vision in mind. Number 5, and that is all about cameras. Okay, so I understand there's some debate about using an iPad as a camera. Me personally, I don't care what you take your pictures with, it just comes down to your eye and the subject that you're shooting. If you want to use an iPad Air 2, then go ahead, enjoy. If you want to use an iPad mini 4, enjoy. And if you want to use a first-gen iPhone, yes, I know the camera's not that great, still though, enjoy, it's your choice. Do not let others tell you what to use in terms of photography. Sorry guys, I just had to rant real quick. I just can't stand the idea of somebody telling others what to do with their own personal purchases. Anyway, getting to the point, the iPad mini 4 does feature an 8 megapixel iSight camera, which is definitely very nice. And you do get 1080p video, which is very cool. And the FaceTime HD camera is now 1.2 megapixels, which may not seem great, but that's still a big update from the iPad mini 2 and the iPad mini 3, especially considering this new camera can record 720p video. It's not a bad deal, and I'm just so happy that Apple updated both of these cameras. Moving on to item number 6, and that is the fact that the iPad mini 4 is amazingly thin and light, if I can get it out of this case. Okay, this is annoying me. No case should ever make it this difficult to take out a freaking tablet. Sorry, I'm getting annoyed. Anyway, just take my word for it. The iPad mini 4 is stupidly thin and light. The first moment I picked it up, I could not believe at how much thinner and how much lighter it felt compared to the iPad mini 3. Okay, so while I was frustrated with the removal of the tablet from this case, I will still say this case is definitely worth 10 bucks. Just that removal process, frustrating. Anyway, I'm getting ranty. Item number 7, and the most important one of all, this feels like a new device. This honestly feels like a new device. Okay, so yes, this isn't a particular feature that I enjoy about the iPad mini 4, but guys, just believe me when I say, this honestly does feel like a completely new device when compared to last year's iPad mini. I cannot stress that enough. Last year's revision was nice because you got the option of gold and Touch ID, but aside from that, you didn't get a CPU boost, you didn't get improvement in the color gamma, louder speakers, better cameras, nothing. It just overall wasn't that great of an update, and I'm so glad to see that Apple has given the iPad mini some fair attention once again. Okay guys, there you go. 7 things that I like about the iPad mini 4. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you loathe it? Let me know in the comments right below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.